This is the MBA Wire, episode 20. Special shout out here to Katie Dangerous for that great 5-star review on the podcast in iTunes. Thank you so much. That is awesome. All right, guys, let's do this.
Inspirational MBA talk with successful alumni to motivate you during your application run. We go behind the scenes of every story, talk business, and show you why it's worthwhile to never give up on your MBA dream. And now, here's your host with the most, Matteo Chang.
All right, what's up, citizens of The Wire? Welcome back to another episode. I am still here at this amazing AGAC conference 2015. We are in London at London Business School, and I'm sitting down with Chloe Foden. Did I pronounce your last name right? Awesome. She is part of an amazing initiative here called Prodigy Finance. And she's spared us a few minutes of her time to talk to us about helping you finance your MBA programs or whatever other executive education that you guys are going through. Yeah. Well, I'm just going to give it back to you, Chloe. Why don't you explain to our listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool.
And explain to our listeners about what it is that you guys are doing. Yeah.
Sure. So I head up global marketing for Prodigy Finance. I'm based in Cape Town in South Africa, but our head office is in London, so I live on an airplane. Basically, and when
economy class rooms or business class? Yeah, okay.
Economy all the way.
All the way, all right.
All the way.
Cool. Very
headphones and a blow-up pillow.
Blow-up pillow, very comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. But it's a great way to see the world. When I'm not on an airplane, I'm on the beach in Cape Town, which is a nice balance between work and play. Prodigy Finance is a peer-to-peer marketplace. So essentially what we do is we get funding from alumni of top business schools in the world or school communities, and we then loan that money out to international students looking to do MBAs or other master's programs at schools that fall within the FT Top 100 ranking. So some of our biggest programs include INSEAD, HSC, LBS, Wharton, Columbia, Michigan, and Oxford, Cambridge. So what happens is, as soon as the student's been admitted, you register on our platform, and we'll ask you a couple of questions, funding questions. So it'll be around your assets and then your liabilities. And once you've completed that little budget online, we will then take 2 working days and come back to you with an answer on how much we can loan to you and at what rate. So we get our money from alumni and school communities. We then loan it out to students who then use it to go and study at these top programs and top schools. Then as soon as they finish studying, you start repaying it back.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so like 12 questions came up in my mind.
Yeah.
Let's go one by one. So it's kind of like the students can get loans. What are the rates? I mean, where do your rates range from, depending on the student?
So at certain schools, we've got fixed rates, and those are predominantly some of our partner schools in the US. And for example, the rate for Wharton this year is 6.5%. Mm-hmm. But at other schools, our range is between 6% and 9.5% above LIBOR, and that'll be dependent on a couple of things. So we'd like to base our decisions on an individual. So we're looking at the school that you're applying to, your country of nationality, the country that you're currently living in, your GMAT score, your current occupation, as well as how much debt you currently have, and how much you're asking for. So those are some of the factors that go into our predictability model. So what's important for us is we base our decisions on your future earnings potential and not on who you are today and what you're earning today, which is how banks assess you. You go in, you ask for a loan, and they're like, okay, well, this is how much you're earning. Now, this means you won't be able to afford your student loan of 40,000 euros. Mm-hmm. But we're looking at what we think you'll be earning once you've completed an MBA at London Business School, and we know what those values essentially land up being. So we're basing our decision on how good we think you'll be once you've finished your MBA program.
Okay, all right. So it's like you guys have a predictability model
Yeah.
to see the potential of the student.
Yeah.
And depending on their potential, it'll
Yeah.
change the rates and all.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty cool. Because I mean, if you get a student that's, that has a high, what would you say, high success rate, then
Yeah.
he actually benefits from this.
Yeah.
From this criteria. That's pretty cool. But
we also work very closely with the schools, so we know what type of criteria they're looking for when they admit a student, and that's our first gate.
okay.
So we trust that the schools have done a large part of their due diligence in understanding someone's potential to take on a program at that school.
Right. Okay. So it's basically you're aligning the criteria between the two,
Yeah.
and then figuring out how strong of a match there is, and then you guys discover what the rate will be. Now,
Yeah.
how is this an advantage for students? I mean, yes, okay, it's an advantage against borrowing from a bank,
Yeah.
which have some banks have crazy interest rates, especially in Brazil, for example.
Yeah.
What would be the advantage for them as opposed to getting maybe a loan from the school?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things. We don't require a co-signer, we don't require collateral, and we don't require a guarantor.
Wow.
So we're assessing you for you. Means you don't have to ask your parents for money, you don't have to depend on ensuring that you get a massive scholarship. Like, we're able to fund you so you can fund yourself. As well as once you go into repayment, we have payment options in 38 different countries in the world, which means that you're saving on transfer costs. So if you go back to Brazil and you want to make your payments in reais, it's reais?
Yeah, reais, but reals. I mean,
yeah. So you're able to make that deposit in that currency, and it'll then convert and reflect in our account in whatever currency your school loan needed to be. So you're making a saving there. If you're doing a full-time program, you get a grace period of 6 months once you finish studying, and that's enough time for you it's time for you to be able to go sort your life out, get a job, move cities if you have to.
Yeah, you better have a job after 6 months of an MBA program at a top school.
So exactly. So you get time off while you're studying, and then an additional 6 months to sort stuff out. And then also, what's very important is you're getting a chance to be a part of a broader community. So be it the alumni that have invested in you, or if it's the school or other high net worth individuals who've invested their money into the bond that then finances your schooling, those investors get a list of the students that are in who they've invested in.
Right, in their group, right?
Yeah.
In their portfolio.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
So they get line of sight of who's in their portfolio, and they want to know about the stories, and you're essentially becoming a part of this high net worth and high impact community.
Okay, all right.
Which really starts to set us apart from a bank. Everything is done online.
Yeah.
So all of our all your uploading of documents and any proof of your copy of your passport or proof of living, residential address, whatever, all of that is done online. So you even sign your loan agreement or
online.
accept your loan agreement online. You're not sitting in a bank, you're not waiting for someone to, fill in your paperwork. You're really driving the process. Our operations team can speak between them, I think, 12 or 13 languages.
Mm-hmm.
So really, if you're needing help, they're able to assist. You can reach them on different communication channels, Skype, email, calling, texting. We try and make it as easy and friendly as possible.
It does. It does sound very, very easy. I mean, one of the worst things in Brazil as far as processes goes are the lines, are the queues. You have to wait for every single thing. But in this case, it's everything done online. You just need to deliver the required documents in order to fulfill.
So just on timing. So if you were to, let's say you got accepted from Wharton today, you applied to us tomorrow online, we would then take 2 working days, so that would leave us Thursday, Friday to come back to you. Thursday, Friday to come back to you with an offer. We'd say, yes, we can approve this amount and this is the rate we'll give you. If you then accept that, accept that conditional approval online, we'll then ask you to submit your documentation. Depending on how organized you are, that process can take anywhere between 1 day and 3 weeks. But if you've got everything, you're driving that process. So it could take 2 days. So what we've seen, best case, is someone goes from applying to knowing that their loan is approved and will be dispersed to the school in 1 week.
Okay.
And we disperse directly to the school. We'll never pay the student. It will go straight to the school. You just arrive at school, your fees are paid.
Your fees are paid. Wow, it makes it so much easier. Because I've interviewed many students who have been accepted, who had just gotten accepted into their schools. And they were talking about the difficulties that come after being accepted, which is, figuring out the visa process, where to live, and then also, obviously, this part about financing or funding their studies. And it's just, they have a limited time there in order to do everything. It just gets crazy.
Yeah.
If this is one less thing they need to do, that's a huge improvement for their daily lives. And you're right. I mean, I think with the main problem for a lot of internationals is to try to find a cosigner.
Yeah.
Or even to have collateral, because usually people who are looking for financing don't really have collateral. There's a reason why they're looking for financing.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a shot in the own foot. But that's awesome that you don't have to have a cosigner or a collateral. Now, how do you ensure that there's no defaults on your on the end of the students who receive them?
Yeah, sure. So we've got, at the moment, our repayment rate is 99.2%.
Wow.
So less than 1% default. And that's essentially because students buy into the concept. Why would you spend 130 or 40 odd thousand to go do an MBA program at a top school in the States, knowing that alumni, the school, and high net worth individuals have invested in you? Part of your reason for going to that school is probably to build a network.
Yeah.
Now you default on your student loan with that network.
There you go.
What happens to that network for you? It's not a great option. And we also understand that life happens and sometimes someone isn't able to make a payment. What's very important for us as a business is communication. And that's one of our big values. So, and we're not a bank, we're people. So if you're experiencing difficulties making a repayment, rather let us know and we can have a dynamic conversation around an arrangement, around either interest-only payments for a short while, or as long as we're aware of what's going on, we can help you plan and we can plan as well.
Of course, don't just disappear.
Yeah.
Don't do what you would
No,
normally do to a bank.
don't make us come find you. Don't make us come find
you. You guys have collectors too, huh? Yeah, that's great. The whole peer-to-peer concept. I mean, just a little background on this company. Prodigy Finance was actually founded by INSEAD alumni, right?
So two students came up with the idea when they were at INSEAD, and then they landed up bringing in someone else. So there were three of them. And they realized that what they had struggled to do was fund their studies. And no one understood, or banks didn't understand, that, their education was going to be what took them to the next level in terms of their career. And that they'd be able to be good for the money later, but just not good for it right now. And they approached alumni who had gone on to have successful careers and were otherwise rolling in it. And they managed to get some investment funding. So getting the backing of someone who'd gone through the same experience as they had, essentially it built a connection between past students and current students. And that's what we hope to achieve with all our schools, is helping the school build a bigger and better community. Yeah.
Thinking about it, just globally, looking at it globally, you guys have actually created such an amazing business model in the sense where you avoid default because you're the whole network thing. The students are held accountable by the network that they're trying to
get
into. Part of. And if they screw that up, then why go to an MBA with it? And that's awesome on that side. You're also making it easy for students to fund their own studies so that they don't have to do all the work around. But at the same time, you have the investors, the alumni, and the community, helping out with the investments and the funding, and they also get a certain return for that. So what happens is the students who go through your funding go to an MBA, get out of MBA, get a great paying job, pay Prodigy back. They end up becoming the people who fund other
it
students.
becomes an amazing virtuous cycle.
I want to come work for you guys because at least I have a guaranteed job for the future. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Actually.
it's
Wow.
really, really cool. And it's really exciting. And what's
It is.
rewarding on our side is hearing stories from both investors who want to make a difference and who care about people and are choosing to invest in people over just another commodity.
Yeah.
And then hearing from students who had otherwise no access
Yeah.
to this education because they couldn't get funding. 82% of the students in our portfolio tell us that they had no other option,
Wow.
which means that we're enabling education, and that's exciting. And hearing students who are saying, this has changed their life and that we're a bunch of smarts and hearts, and that's cool, and
Yeah.
that's what makes me get up every morning
Oh,
and be
yeah.
excited about going to work. Like, you're
Yeah.
changing people's lives and enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're sitting in that middle seat with two large people on each side and a crying baby in front of you.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
This is the thing you need to be thinking
Yeah,
about. You have to
I
hold
love
on.
it.
Did I picture too close of a...
Last time I got on an airplane home, it was at the back, and that's known as the creche, right? You walk in
Yeah.
and there were just 14 kids under 5.
Wow.
It's like, this is going to be a long flight, but I love my jobs.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah. You do it for the students.
Yeah.
Very altruistic. That's great. And actually, candidates, citizens of the Wire, I'm going to tell you this. Chloe and I, we've actually discussed this a little bit before our interview, but this is sort of a partnership that's about to grow, and I plan to have interviews with the students who have been funded by Prodigy, who have finished their MBAs and paid off their, or still currently paying, but I want to hear their success stories on how Prodigy helped out. And also, hopefully, if we can get in contact with some investors and have them also not only promote the idea here, but also to talk about, why they decide to do this. I mean, believe it or not, a lot of candidates have this feeling like they're alone during the application process.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you are not alone. Not only are there other candidates going through the application process, despite being your competitors, there are other people there, but there are other people who have been in your shoes, who have gone through it all, and there are people investing in you. So, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, this is a business model that I think, just will change lives, inside and out. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just great.
yeah.
Big smiles all around.
I got Chloe beaming right now.
I love it when other people echo what we firmly believe in.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. It's truly amazing, and it's something that I think people would easily buy into, especially after they've been helped by Prodigy. So I think I thank you for having that financial backing side of this application process, because it is actually one of the top 3 reasons why students quit halfway through or all the way to the end. I mean, I've had students who have been accepted but could not get some way to get funding. They'd had to decline their acceptance at top schools. Whether it was because of a cosigning problem, a collateral problem. Family doesn't have they come from poor backgrounds with no credit. So banks won't back them, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. You guys are coming in kind of like like saviors here for the underprivileged in a sense. Yeah.
So if you check out our website, prodigyfinance.com, we have got there's a drop down with all the schools that we currently work with, and we'll also explain which programs at that school that we work with. So it's not just the MBAs, it's MBAs, EMBAs, certain master's programs as well. So for us, the focus is postgraduate education, and all those details as well as the loan terms and eligibility is available on our website. So prodigyfinance.com.
Prodigyfinance.com. I will have this up on our link when I upload this episode. Any questions you may need? Is it all right if I add your email, your business email? I have your card too, so I'll have that up there too if you have any questions. But Chloe works with global marketing, so if you have like operational or document questions or even operation stuff, you may want to direct your emails to the correct departments by
Yeah.
finding them on the website.
Yeah.
Go to the website. Go to the website.
Yeah.
It's easier. You're going to understand it better. I'm sure there's a video
Yeah.
there to show it to. I think I saw it the other day. Any plans to do financing for something other than education? Like if, for example, you know, entrepreneurs who
Yeah.
want to start it. You guys have probably talked about that, right?
This for us is a journey.
Okay.
And this is where we've chosen to start.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's see where it goes.
we go.
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
See where it goes. And this is pretty cool because right now, today, I'm interviewing somebody who can possibly be my future boss. If you guys ever need an ambassador in Brazil,
Sure, I'm
you
all
know,
over it.
yeah.
I'm gonna come visit.
I'm definitely up for it because it's very much like a lot of, I think the generations have changed in the sense that today people don't want to sell something they don't believe in.
Yeah.
You know, that time has gone and past where they need to have a job because they need it. You know, a lot of people are just, they end up giving up jobs, great paying jobs, to actually open up their own businesses and sell something that they feel that they believe in. And that's been a trend in the past years, which is why this whole entrepreneur thing has become such a hot topic in many schools. And I kind of follow along in that line. I mean, I do the consulting and I do this MBA wire. I mean, not receiving anything for this, but this is because I believe in
making a difference.
Making a difference in the world, And then you guys have a different approach with that. But in the same way, I think the underlying cause there, the underlying effect is that we're all trying to help each other out in this ever globalizing world. I mean, is there anything that I may have left out? I mean, that you would like to add here? I mean, we can go all day with this, but I just, you know, I want to open it up for you guys.
I think we've pretty much covered it. But again, if there are any questions, pop me a line. Like, if I can't answer, I can definitely direct to someone in the business who can. We're always hiring, so you can check out jobs.prodigyfinance.com.
You gotta let me write that down.
We've got offices in London, we've got an office in New York, and we've got offices in Cape Town.
All right, and in the future, hopefully, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're always up for expansion.
Sweet. Well, Chloe, I just want to thank you so much for giving us your time here and being available here to talk about Prodigy. I do believe that you guys may come down to Brazil to have like an event. Philadelphia Consulting, which is our consulting company, we will also be part of this event. We're going to try to make this happen within the next year, hopefully, because one, there is great potential. Two, I know that there's a market for it in Brazil. I know many students who will be on top of this thing, you know, as soon as they find out about it. So we definitely, you know, I've actually been talking to Paulo Cesar for a few times these last 2-3 days, trying to figure out if this is something we can help do, and it is something
that would be great.
We'll set that up.
Always up for a trip to Brazil.
You get to check out the caipirinhas. Great. Well, speaking of alcohol, we're actually getting ready to check out a pub here in London. So sorry, we'd like to stay and chat with you guys a little bit longer, but candidates, we all have our priorities, right? Just kidding.
Cool. Thanks very much, Matteo. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity and for giving us your time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Matteo Chang from London, signing off. Catch you guys next time on the MBA Wire.
Thanks for tuning into the MBA Wire. Would you like to know more? Visit us online at thembawire.com today and leave your questions and feedback. While you're there, sign up for an exclusive free audio series to help you strengthen your MBA interview. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the MBA Wire.